All right, guys. So today I want to give you a little rundown of how exactly to use MyFitnessPal. Now, this is a very important resource, and it's going to help you to understand exactly what you are eating. If you do not understand exactly what you are eating, most of the time you are in trouble, and you're probably not progressing. Um, at least, if you are stuck right now and you are not progressing, chances are likely that you're eating more than you think that you are. MyFitnessPal is a really good tool to understand exactly what you are eating, how much you are eating, and to really help you understand and think about what you are eating. And whether that be too much or too little, once you write it down and track it in MyFitnessPal, you will have a really good understanding of where you're at. And maybe it will surprise you. And most of the time it does if you've never done any sort of tracking of your food before. Here's the basics, okay? The first thing that you want to do is figure out what your total calorie intake should be. So what you'll want to do is go down to the More button on the home screen of your MyFitnessPal. Once you click that home screen, you're going to hit Goals right in the middle of the screen. And then you are going to hit Calorie, Carbs, Protein, and Fat Goals right in the middle of the screen. Now, this is going to allow you to adjust your calories and your macronutrient goals as you want them. So let's do calories first. As calories should always be the first thing that you decide upon, because ultimately that is going to be what's going to decide whether you're losing weight, staying the same, or gaining weight. So I'm just going to use an example of, let's say, 1,500 calories. I'm going to hit the check mark. Then I'm going to adjust my macronutrient goals. Now, you can do this by adjusting the percentage. Now, the first thing that you always want to do is figure out what your protein should be. Now, if you are losing weight and that is your goal, really what you should be shooting for is at least 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. So if I was 100 pounds and my body fat percentage was, let's just say 25%, that means I have 25 pounds of fat and 75 pounds of lean mass. So I would want to do 75 grams of protein, and I would adjust my percentage to whatever that would be, to give me that number. Now, it's going to be a little bit different for everybody depending upon your body fat percentage. If you don't know exactly what your body fat percentage is, you can go ahead and search pictures of what that looks like, let's say 15%, 20%, 25% online, and they have really good breakdowns of, okay, here's what a normal 25% body fat person looks like for a man or a woman. Okay, here's what 20% looks like for a man or a woman. And you can start from there. So let's just, for now, let's say this person is, let's see. Let's say they have, 130-ish pounds of lean body mass. Okay. From there, we're going to adjust your carbohydrates. Now, when you're adjusting carbohydrates, really you want to decide on how active you are. For one, if you're a very active person, I would take your carbohydrates higher. And I really wouldn't ever drop them below 30%. But, you know, for most people, it's going to be closer to the range of, you know, 40% to 40, you know, 35 to 45% typically. And that would mean that our fat gets put to about 25%. So that's where we are, right? So now all macronutrients are accounted for, and I now have my macros set up. So I'm gonna hit the check mark. And now, oops, it got messed up again. So we're gonna bring this back to 35. And we're gonna bring this back to 25, check mark. And always make sure that for what you set it at, it stays that way, because sometimes MyFitnessPal will just let it switch around however it wants you to put it. Okay, and then we're gonna hit the back arrow again. And now I'm back to my menu. And from here, I can hit the bottom button that says diary right next to the blue plus. And here's my diary, okay? So I can now start adding food in that I've eaten for today. So for example, my breakfast this morning, I haven't logged it as of now, but let's do it together. So I'm gonna have basically two options here. I can use the scan barcode and scan any barcode that I have on my, you know, or let's say my can of Diet Coke here, for example, right? I can scan that barcode. Oh, invalid barcode, so we're not even gonna mess with it. But that is one option you can do, okay? Another option is that you can insert it manually. So what I had for breakfast this morning was 2 Dannon Light and Fit Greek yogurts. Now, for me, I eat these a lot because they're really awesome and help you get in a lot of good protein, and they taste really good. So I already have it saved in my MyFitnessPal for me, and it pops up because it's a recent food that I've eaten. But let's say that I didn't, and I'm just going to search it. Greek yogurt. Dannon Light and Fit Greek yogurt. Okay. So now it's going to give me all of the search results that it gets for Dannon Light and Fit Greek yogurt. Maybe. There we go. And so what we want to look for here optimally is a green check mark, because if you see a green check mark like the other one that I had, that's the one that is kind of been certified and most accurate. So that's typically, those are the ones that you want to go with. Because there's not any on this list here, you know, I'm going to pick one that matches up with what I have on my actual yogurt container. And they're, for the most part, these are all exactly the same. So I'm just going to go with the blueberry one down here. And then it brings me to this option here. Now I can adjust my serving size and the number of servings which I've had. So a normal serving size of this is one small little container, so I had 2. So now my serving size is the same. And if you wanted to, you can, you know, click on that serving size, and a lot of times it'll give you options as far as serving sizes go. So if you only had a fifth of the serving size, you could do it by ounce, right? And click on ounce and then adjust it that way. Right now, to make things easy, one serving size is one little container, which is 5.3 ounces. Now go to number of servings and you can hit 2, right? And then you hit the check mark, and then you hit the check mark again in the top right. All right, so now that's in our daily diary, okay? With that, okay, I also had, I can't remember what the heck the brand is called. Let's just go with oh man, 9 grain whole wheat bread. I don't remember the exact brand. If you can remember the exact brand, as you are putting it in, that makes it a lot easier to know exactly what it was and exactly what it is that you are putting in here. So for right now, and I'm actually pretty sure, well, let's just do this. The 9 grain whole wheat bread, great value, Walmart brand, right? And this is pretty close to actually what my bread was. Very comparable. So now I just had 1 slice. And so now I don't have to adjust anything for the serving size or the number of servings. Okay, then I hit the check mark again. Now I'm gonna go back to add food, and I had probably a half a tablespoon of butter. So I'm just gonna put butter. Okay, then I'm gonna search. Butter, perfect. So there's lots of green check marks on this one. So these are all pretty much certified. And there's all, as you can tell here, there's all different kinds of butter, right? So one patty of butter, one apple butter, vegan butter, smart butter, yogurt butter, tons of different kinds of butter. So make sure that you are choosing the correct one. Because for example, if I choose apple butter and really 1 tablespoon of apple butter, but I actually had like butter, real butter, you know, the calorie difference is 70 calories. Let's say you had, you know, 2 tablespoons of butter on something. That's 140 calorie difference. You make that mistake, you know, on a continuous basis, and those 140 calories day after day are going to add up and end up throwing your calories way off. So it's important that you insert the right information. Butter unsalted, okay? Perfect. And now I had a half a tablespoon, okay? And so now I'm gonna bring this to 0, and I'm gonna bring this to 1/2. And then I hit the check mark, okay? And then it cuts my serving in half as far as calories, and then I hit the check mark again, okay? Now, this was my breakfast. So in the top right, where it says breakfast, I'm at 333 calories. And then it gives me a breakdown of what I ate. And so you just put everything in there that you ate. Now, you want to do that and repeat the process for lunch, dinner, and any kind of snacks that you have throughout the day. When you get everything loaded in, you can scroll down to the bottom and hit the nutrition button. Then it's going to give you a breakdown of your calories, nutrients, and macronutrients. So right now it pops up for my nutrients. So total protein that I had for my breakfast was 29 grams of protein. And I had 40 grams of carbohydrate. Okay, as far as my other macro went, fat, I had 7 grams of fat. And then it tells you what your goal is for the day, the middle column. And then on the right side, what you have left to eat for the day. So I still need to eat 131 grams of protein for the day, which means my goal is 131, so which means I have 102 grams of protein left to eat today. And then so on and so forth with your carbohydrates and your fat, okay? From there, you can go over to calories and you look at your calories and it gives you your total as far as what you've eaten. Now this is only one meal. So by the end of the day, this should look like your goal, which is 1,500 calories. And then you go over to macros and it gives you a pie chart and breakdown of what you're doing as far as your macros are concerned. So right now, you know, my carbohydrates are 7% over my goal. My protein is just about right on. And my fat is a little low for my 25% goal. Now, when it comes to macronutrients, I'm kind of, you know, beating this thing to death, but your calories are going to be the most important, but your macros, you always want to hit your protein goal. Always. That is especially in a weight loss diet. Because the last thing that you want is to undereat protein and lose muscle when you're losing weight, which is very, very easy to do, muscle loss, when you're not eating enough protein, which will end up making you burn less calories per day, which makes weight loss harder, obviously, right? So let's cruise back. So I'm going to hit the X here. I'm going to X out of that. Now, as far as exercise and water go, exercise, don't worry about tracking it on this app. Most of the time, it's not going to give you an accurate amount of calories burnt, right? So if you have a watch, if you have a heart rate monitor or something like that, that's syncing up to your MyFitnessPal, turn it off. And you can do that by going to this more button down here and going to apps and devices. And you would just make sure that nothing is connected, okay? So as far as your water, this is a really good way to track your water, right? So you can track your water as you drink it throughout the day to make sure that you're getting about, you know, half of your body weight in ounces of water per day. Now, that's pretty much the basics of it. To make things easier for you going forward, right? If this is a breakfast that you eat on a regular basis, instead of having to go in and log it every single day, what you can do is you can hit the three little buttons or the three little dots on your breakfast on the bottom right, and you can say save as meal. And then I can add a picture of that meal, and then I can name it 2 light and fit Greek yogurts with wheat and butter toast. Done. Okay, now I hit save, and then my meal is created. So that way, let's just say, going to the top where it says today, I'm going to scroll to the next arrow, and where it says breakfast, I'm going to say add food, and then go to meals there, and then I can select any meal that I want from here, but the one I just saved is 2 light and fit, light and got Greek yogurts. Good old autocorrect, okay? So now I can either adjust anything that I want to here, or I can just hit the check mark in the top right, and then it adds it for me, easy peasy, right? Guys, that is the basics of it, okay? Now, if you can do this, it will tremendously help you. Yes, you do have to put a little bit of time into it each and every day, but the better you can do this, the easier it will be for you to really understand your body, what you're eating, and how it affects you. So if for example, I eat 1,500 calories every day for a week, and I lose a pound, I know for sure that I am eating the right amount of calories to lose weight. However, if I eat 1,500 calories and I am up a pound after a week of correct tracking, I emphasize that, correct tracking, making sure that you're tracking everything accurately, and weighing your food as you eat it and measuring it, not just guessing, you will know that you need to drop your calories if you're gaining weight. So guys, I hope this really helps you to understand how to use this and how to use it effectively. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will be happy to help you or answer any questions that you have. All right. I will talk to you guys soon, and good luck with this because it will tremendously, tremendously help you.